guys, this is Lena with StudioR12, and today I'm going to talk to you about painting pots as we get ready for spring. I want to talk to you a little bit about what has inspired me to do these painted pots. A really long time ago, I got married, and for my centerpieces, I wanted like really pretty painted terracotta pots that, you know, were pocked in a texture and depth, but those are really expensive and really hard to find. So Patty and I bought a bunch of terracotta pots and we painted them ourselves, and I love them. I still have all of them, and I use them to plant and pot with even still. And I had noticed a little while ago that a few of my pots were starting to have some paint chip away. So I started to do a little bit of research, and I came across a tip that when you're painting on terracotta, you have to seal the inside and the outside. And it was like a light bulb for me. You have to seal the inside and the outside because terracotta is a porous material. Any of this like clay style pottery is porous. So you're eventually gonna get moisture breaking through on either side as you're watering your plant, or if it's outside exposed to the elements as it's, you know, out here. So we're gonna work on that today. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit, again, sealing your terracotta pot. So I already said why, so I'm just gonna jump in and do it. I'm using foam brush, and I'm gonna be using our Deco Art multi-purpose sealer today. You could also use just like a spray sealer if you had that. Of course, we're indoors, so I don't wanna use anything aerosol, but that would be good for at home. I'm just gonna run this quick. Just needs a quick coat, nothing, you know, no perfection here, just getting it on there. The other thing you can use, so I was using one of these foam brushes, which these are great, especially with sealer. Sometimes if you don't get them under the water, they kind of harden up, and you can just toss them easy peasy. You can also use one of these. These are really great if you don't want to leave any lines or you're afraid of texture. See how nice that goes on too. I'm gonna seal the inside, and I'm sealing in here on the bottom. I don't know, I feel like I like this better, this brush for the inside, because I can really easily like wipe around that edge. So let's do this for a minute, and then we'll see if we'll just do the foam brush, and I'll tell you in a moment what I think is the most comfortable. Like I said, when we painted pots the first time, we didn't seal the inside. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I feel like I already know I'm having trouble like without having to sort of do some acrobatics, and you can see I'm leaving. So I feel like on the outside, the foam brush is maybe a little bit better, but here on the inside, I have a little bit more spreadability and control. So either way, like I said, this is just sort of a waterproofing. It's gonna keep your paint lasting longer. So again, this one just sealed it inside outside. But I'm gonna set it aside for a minute. Remember to stick these in the water. Okay, so the one we're actually gonna be painting on today is this pot. So we've actually already sealed this one, that way it was good and dry. And I'm gonna be using our paisley pattern stencil here. Now with like this one that I have here, this is not gonna be your standard gardening store terracotta pot, or at least it's not here. This is not as tapered. Even this one is not your super standard because it's a little extra tapered. But this super round shape is gonna be really easy to stencil on. But these more tapered and the ones with the lip, which this one has, and you are gonna find in your standard garden variety store, right? You're not gonna be able to get your stencil right up to the lip. So what we're gonna do, take our scissors, and we're gonna trim right along. Here is my elementary school teacher tip of the day. Turn your paper, or in this case, your stencil, and not your scissors, right? Sure, we all know that, but I'm just gonna do around all 4 edges in case I wanna twist and turn my stencil, then I'm not gonna have to stop in the middle and try to do it, right? So I was kind of inspired to paint like white on this terracotta and do like a white paisley. I think it's gonna end up being really cute. I just have to decide how I want to start. I'll start right here with this guy. Move it a little bit. I'm just kind of being careful not to ghost if I can help it, but I can clean it up a little bit if I do. And I did just move my stencil, but because I'm not like doing words or anything like that, I'm not going to worry about trying to get it lined back up. Don't mind a little bit of movement. It's not going to hurt anything, I guess is what I'm saying. Oop, no. See, that one I do want because I started him. I'm going to start him right there. Now I'm going to go down and do this really big pattern piece. And I am stippling here because this is going to be one of those materials that the paint is going to slip on. So you don't necessarily want to swirl. So I started without using tape because I'm kind of just piecing things together, which I don't necessarily need it taped down perfectly, but what's happening here is this is sort of, and where I put it is sort of in the middle of my stencil piece. So it's kind of getting like harder for me to control and keep in place. It's sort of like I need one more hand. I'm sure we all know that feeling. I just had one more hand, right? So I'm basically using this tape as my one more hand. I'm just gonna put it right here to kind of keep it anchored. And then I still have some flexibility on this side. So see, now I've got a little bit better grip. Make sure my brush is not overloaded. Like I said, this is not gonna be a material that's gonna absorb any paint for you. So it's not gonna do you any favors to have an overloaded brush. I'm gonna go ahead and be smart and use my tape here just to help keep it so I don't slip it around. Now that I do kind of know where I want things. I don't want as much movement. Gentle, just get that guy. Okay. Don't want to get you. So I have twisted and turned this stencil all over the planet just to fill the space the way that I want it filled. Okay. That's one of my favorite things about these pattern stencils. You can kind of do that. You can make it all your own. All your own. Oh, that's turning out really cute. I need something right here, so I don't know if you can, the space that I've left a little bit blank, I need to kind of fill it. So I'm gonna look on my stencil and I'm kind of trying to work in like what's gonna fill it the best. And I think if I tack like this, just hit these 3 little dots, that little flower. Yeah, okay. So see, that looks a little bit better, a little bit more full. Let's start going here. I haven't done this one yet. So the same thing here. Okay. this paint isn't sealed yet, and it is on this slicky surface. So any of these little accidental bumps with my brush, anything like that, I'm just gonna wipe it off. Once I seal it, it's a done deal. But for right now, everything is really flexible and fixable. See, again, that's one of the things I like about this, and why this kind of project actually makes for a really good beginner project, because you can do a lot of cleanup. And I mean, paint is erasable anyway, but especially on a surface like this, where even old things that are good and dry, I can just wipe them right off. It's no big deal. So this is a super great beginner project if you have someone that you're helping learn, or you're trying to begin yourself. Maybe it seems intimidating because it's not like a flat board, but like I said, it's a really good beginner level project. One of the tricks to this is moving around. You don't want to stay in that one spot and work, because things are going to be wet. You're going to end up touching things, running through things with your hand, with your stencil, and I'm doing that right now. So I know how easy that is to get stuck in a place and want to just keep working. But one of the tricks here is just constantly being on the move, twisting and turning. I like these pattern stencils, and I like doing them this way because I can sort of use this existing template to create a totally personalized pattern of my own. And I just really like that. I like that idea, I like that concept. That even if 10 other people own this exact same stencil, because I twisted it and did all kinds of things with it on my own and worked things in between each other, mine is going to be completely different than anyone else's. Also, when I'm painting this terracotta pot, I'm thinking about this, I'm not saying it. This towel being really grippy is helping my surface not wiggle so much. It's like on here, it's going to roll a lot easier. I guess maybe it looks like it's rolling just as easy, but I can feel the grip, which is definitely helping my case here. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think this is pretty well where I want it. I am gonna go over this guy one more time for a purpose. I wanna talk about different type of looks. So if you're going more rustic, some of this really light-handedness is gonna fit that aesthetic really well, right? But if you're going more for like shiny, you know, you want it to look really almost store-bought rather than handmade, okay? That's the look you're going for. You're gonna want everything a little bit darker, right? A little bit more. So see how I'm just strengthening just with one more coat from here to here, right? So I'm just adding that one more coat really can make a pretty big difference. So I've got a much stronger white here, but if we go to like this side, it's more of that opaque. Okay, I can even go, I'm gonna put my stencil aside, so I can even take my sandpaper. Get ready. Okay. I hate the sound, but it is worth it. So you're gonna get that like really antique, really washy, which I really like. I really like a lot of that knocked back a little bit. So I'm gonna think about this as my, I'm talking to myself here. Think of this as my store-bought section. I'm gonna go back over to this side and sand a little bit more. So I'm just using the 220 grit sandpaper here. So it's not really like barely there, because I don't wanna dig past the sealer that I put on, right? Or dig into the pot and ruin its integrity in any way. So I'm just sort of using this to buff some of that paint back. Now, Next thing I can sort of do too, we're gonna play with this just a little bit because why not, right? I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this teeny tiny bit of white paint, and I'm gonna mix it. So sort of make almost a little bit of a wash and a stain here. And we're gonna see how this looks. And I'm gonna wet my paper towel a little bit too. That way I want a higher concentration of water here than I have of paint. Okay. I want a little bit more than that. Yes, this is what I thought. This is what I wanted. Okay, so it's got that paint underneath and it's got a little bit of a wash to it too. So we talked about the importance of sealing these kind of pots here, but you're gonna need to seal this again now as well. So if you seal before paint, you're gonna have to seal it again because now you need to sort of seal and varnish your paint so that it doesn't wipe off just as easy as you saw me while I was working. Right? So we've got a couple choices. You've got high gloss varnish, which is gonna be what we're gonna use here on this like really true, that more store-bought look. And then we've got a matte varnish here as well, which is what I'm gonna use back here, okay? So we're just gonna look at the difference. I'm gonna use a light hand because I did get that paint really watery and wet, and I don't want to go over it too many times because this varnish it's making it move. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but it's moving that wash a little bit. So what I'm going to do is a really nice light coat, okay? And then when that dries, if I want to hit it again just to be sure that I got it all, I will. But right now I don't want to move that around too much because I like how it looks. So I'm just going to quick coat and leave that. Now we're going to go for the gloss. I'm just gonna use the same brush. It's not gonna hurt anything. Come over here on this side. Ooh, pretty. I don't know. Maybe I like the gloss better. Maybe I like the gloss better. Ooh. I'm a little bit shocked. That makes me kind of, I'm shaken to my core. I did not anticipate that. I really like projects that surprise me. I like when I think I know what's gonna happen, or I think I know what I like or what I want. And I almost end up being wrong. I don't know. Okay. So I'm gonna dry. This is really eye-catching. I really like that. But again, this is gonna fade into your like natural landscape, natural porch really well too. So they do both have their pros and cons. It just depends on if it's the centerpiece or if it's a piece, right? Just a piece. I'm also wondering, now I have questions, right? I wonder what this wash is gonna look like with a gloss on it. I wonder if it's gonna, so I'm just gonna do it and we're gonna see together right now in the moment. Because it might be kind of nice. You want to be sure on these terracotta pots where they've got the lip that you run something under here because you don't want to have a buildup, right, of this varnish laying there that could pick or peel. See, I sort of like the shine on that too. Let's do one more thing. We're going to do one more crazy thing. I'm going to try and get that high gloss off my brush here. And I'm gonna matte on this one more time, just on half of this washy side, just so we can see what we like, what I like. Tell me what you like. I'd like to hear back. I don't know if you can really even tell a difference on there now. I think they're both valuable in and of their own rights. I really liked the shine. I really like the shine even on the washy rustic side. I also really like the matte. There was something that made it look really natural. I don't know. So I guess it's up to you. You can go high gloss, you can go matte. Either way, just be sure you're sealing the outside and the inside of your terracotta pots. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified for any of our future videos.